everybody. Today, we are going to be playing some Spec Ops from Modern Warfare 2, the original 2009 Modern Warfare 2. The Spec Ops mode was added in Modern Warfare 2, and it is essentially a collection of challenges. You are put in a map from the campaign, and they have engineered specific challenges within those areas. So, this one, for instance, is called Sniper Fi, and it's a simple wave defense type of game mode. So you have claymore mines and a variety of weapons at your disposal. I will be using my Barrett sniper rifle to pick off some enemies from a distance. And I really enjoyed Spec Ops when I was younger and this game came out. And I spent quite a few hours attempting to get 3 stars on all the Spec Ops missions. And I was pretty proud of myself when I finally pulled it off. Some of them are very hard to get 3 stars on. And usually to get 3 stars, you have to play on the veteran difficulty. And there will also often be other modifiers. So for example, in this mission, to get 3 stars, you have to play on veteran, which not only makes the game more difficult because veteran is a very difficult, it has a difficult set of modifiers for how much damage you take. But this mission also adds additional waves of enemies for the higher up in difficulty that you go. So sometimes the missions can be getting more difficult on, multiple axes. But Spec Ops was a very fun challenge back in the day. I got some aura, if I may borrow the modern lingo, for getting 3 stars, especially on the final Spec Ops missions, where you have to clear the oil rig of enemies. That one was really difficult. So, I have very fond memories of this game mode, as I do of Modern Warfare 2 in general. This was a Call of Duty that I really enjoyed. So, I think this is the final wave here. I'm not entirely sure, I haven't been paying close close enough attention, but this one isn't too bad. You know, you have an elevated position, and also, I'm not trying to get 3 stars in this video. I want to have more of, you know, a relaxing trip down memory lane and not sweat trying to get those 3-star rankings. Although, this is my old save file, has my old saved data on it, so you can see here, when we go back to the missions, I've got 3 stars and everything here. So, now this one is a sort of an enclosed arena. You have to kill a certain number of enemies, and it's a pretty simple one. The one tricky thing is that there are civilians running around, and if you kill too many, you will fail the mission. So you have to watch your trigger finger. And, you know, in my defense, these civilians are kind of throwing themselves through the alleys at high speeds when bullets are tearing through the area, so it's a little reckless. But as you can tell by my defending myself, I am pretty sure I killed a civilian or 2 doing this mission, so my apologies to them and their families. So this one is not too bad. They do have timers for all of these, and you'll see like your best time when you're selecting the mission. You'll also see the Infinity Ward best time or time goal or something. But I was never really concerned about that unless it was actually part of the mission. You know, when I was trying to get the 3 stars, it was like, whatever low-down, scummy tactics I have to use to survive, I will. And, I mean, that was kind of the philosophy for veteran campaigns in general as well. I don't know how hard modern veteran campaigns are in Call of Duty, but I used to play them on veteran back in the day. I would do a hardened run for my first playthrough for, you know, story, and sort of familiarize myself with it. And then I would do a veteran playthrough, and holy, that was tough. Trying to do Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3, the Black Ops games, the, you know, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, the World War II ones, World at War. Playing those games on veteran was no joke. That was really, really hard. And often what it turned into was kind of like, you find one really safe piece of cover, and then you just barely poke your head out, and then you have like 0.2 seconds before you're going to catch a bullet that's going to make your whole screen go red. And if you take a second bullet, you'll die. So you have to make very good use of that 0.2 seconds and try to take down an enemy. So sometimes it could be slow going. And then there were certain scenarios where either because of timers or just the sheer number of enemies or whatever it was, it could get really, really difficult. We just have one more guy here. There we go. Alright. Another one down. I'm setting new best times for myself here. Evasion, use silenced sniper rifles and cunning to slip past enemy patrols. Evade the patrols and reach the safety of the village. Reach the safety of the village. So we will let those guys go by. And if I remember correctly, you don't instantly fail this one if it goes loud. You just have to, be able to put down however many enemies you aggro onto you from going loud. So yawn. I am tired. Take out that guy and his dog. There will be lots of dog violence in this video. I don't remember how many more are in the rest of the missions, but certainly we've had a few. Poor pooches meet their end already. But I love dogs, but also you play Call of Duty with these attack dogs enough and you start to lose your sympathy for killing the virtual dogs. Especially in multiplayer, when people called in the attack dogs kill streak, because you don't even get the chance to push them off you. That's just an insta-kill in that case. So it's also reminding me of the campaign, because all these Spec Ops missions are using campaign maps as the environment. Should we do a little beard scratching while we play Spec Ops? I have very fond memories of the Call of Duty campaigns. I haven't played them in years, but I do recall them being pretty fun. And when I talk about the ones that I like, I mainly referring to the Black Ops, Modern Warfare series, and, Black Ops 1 and 2, really. Modern Warfare 1 and 2. I liked Modern Warfare 3 okay, but I didn't think its campaign was as good as the first two. But it was good. I enjoyed it. And, of course, the original Call of Duties, I quite liked those campaigns, and World of War has a great campaign. But, yeah, I haven't played any of those in a very, very long time, so it'd be interesting to revisit them and see how they hold up, see how they land with my adult tastes, I guess. I think I would still like them, at least for nostalgia factor. I mean, they're kind of like, they're these sort of arcade shooters almost. They're these little, like, you bounce from set piece to set piece and have the plot in between, but I remember enjoying the characters and the events. I remember them being pretty exciting. So, this mission, you have to just kind of fight your way down the length of this suspension bridge. Nothing too complex, but the enemies are kind of tricky here just because there's a lot of cover for them to be hiding behind, which is also useful for you, but what I find tricky about the cars with enemies is that they can be sort of behind the windows of the cars and still shoot you, but they kind of blend in to the car's chassis and you don't see it so well. Or the enemy, that is. And so they can just kind of light you up and you're like, where are you shooting me from? But by that same token, you know, you can, they're a lot more vulnerable to being shot while they're in cover, so. We're up on the top of the bridge now, we have to deal with this helicopter. Try to land an RPG on it. That's a miss. Lead the target, let's go. There we go. It's going down. Yeah. Even on 2-star difficulty, which I don't know if it equates to hardened or what, but you do take damage pretty quick. It's been a long time since I've played these games. And my skills are rusty. Back when I was doing the veteran campaigns, you know, I'm sure I had all this stuff down to a science, how to play the AI just right, knowing sort of the moves they would make, how to hit them behind cover, yada yada. Now I'm old, weak, and weary, struggling to even get 2 stars on a Spec Ops mission. How the mighty have fallen. So, I was always eager for more Spec Ops in the Call of Duty games. The best sort of side mode that Call of Duty ever did was, of course, zombies, which ballooned, I mean, so large that it honestly could have been its own game at a certain point. You could have released a standalone zombie game. And I do think you would have had the passionate fan base for that to buy it. But I don't know how big that fan base is. I mean, they did continue making the zombies game mode for a very long time, so. And they still are, I think. Pretty sure what's the new Call of Duty? Black Ops 7, right? I'm so out of the loop on this stuff now. I think Black Ops 7 has zombies, so they're still doing the zombie thing. Which I certainly enjoyed. I spent many happy hours Ascension and Keynote Toten and all that. Just pure beard scratching. Pure beard scratching. Pure beard scratching and the sound of my neighbor's washing machine. The ultimate ASMR trigger. My neighbor's washing machine. For April Fool's Day, I should do like with how often I reference that fucking machine. I should do like 1 hour of my neighbor's washing machine ASMR, and it's just nothing but that. Just the faint noise of it rumbling through the building in the distance. This mission is called Body Count. It's kind of a funny one. You have to earn a certain number of points to end the mission, and you get more points by like chaining kills together. But you could also just be very cautious and play it safe and just whittle away the points in your own time. Beard scratching is a very good trigger, in my opinion. I always feel funny when I'm recording a video and I kind of just start giving myself ASMR, which doesn't happen too often, but because of I'm wearing headphones to monitor the sound quality. Sometimes when I'm just in the middle of a video, and usually it's when I'm doing the triggers, I don't get ASMR from the sound of my own voice, but if ever I'm doing beard scratching or something like that, sometimes I just kind of zone out because the sounds coming through my headphones are pretty dope. Hope you guys are having a happy new year, by the way. Well, I'm not sure when this will come out. I was thinking it's not the new year yet, but did you hear that sneeze? Did you hear those sneezes? It's my roommate on the other side of this wall. Yeah, maybe this won't come out in the new year. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I was trying to get ahead of videos for the holiday season, which I did, so now I get to chill out and relax a little bit as I make just a couple videos to push through into the new year, but because of how many videos I got stocked up, I don't know exactly when this one will be coming out, but let me just stop rambling about boring behind the scenes stuff. If it is in the new year, Happy if it's not in the new year, then I hope you have a great new year. I don't really do traditional trigger videos, as you guys know, not too often anyways. And occasionally I do mix in some mic scratching, some beard scratching, something easy I can do while talking. But something like, beard scratching, I've sometimes thought I should just do a full beard scratching video. Because to be honest, I could probably use that to fall asleep. Because again, I don't really listen to my own ASMR to relax. But if it's just beard scratching sounds, that's kind of a different story. Beard scratching is one of my favorite triggers in the sort of traditional ASMR sense. Probably my top trigger, my very, very favorite, it's hard to say. I think it's bottle cap sounds. Bottle cap sounds. And there's a wide variety of, bottles and caps with materials. But I think they all kind of rock. Like a glass bottle with a metal cap, or just a plastic bottle with a plastic cap. Bottle cap sounds are very, very good. One of my other favorites is controller sounds. Also, this video started off as a soft-spoken / whispering video. But at this point, we've been whispering for so long that I don't want to go back to soft-spoken. Because I feel like when you stay in whispering for too long, going back to soft-spoken can be a little jarring. My philosophy with it is, if you're doing a mixture of soft-spoken and whispering, you need soft-spoken to be your kind of baseline, because it's a bit louder and a bit harsher, I guess. That's not a good word for it, but And in my experience, if my ears kind of adjust to whispering, and then the soft-spoken comes out of nowhere, it kind of jolts me a little bit. This mission is called Bomb Squad. We have to race around defusing 3 different bombs. So let's give it a shot. And I died immediately. Good job, good job. mission here where I crashed into a rock. Yeah, the beard scratching there was reminding me of getting a shave, a professional shave from a barber, especially the straight razor, the noise that it makes as it's cutting through those stiff beard hairs. That kind of crackling, almost like soft crackling sound as it pushes through the hairs and cuts them. I don't know if you've ever had the pleasure of getting a straight razor shave professionally. It feels very, very nice. Just sitting back, relaxing, a nice hot towel on your face as somebody just kind of pampers you. Look at me, I'm telling a bunch of ASMR listeners that getting a shave is a relaxing experience, when that's like one of the most common ASMR video conceits. You know, you're sitting here getting a shave. This mission is sort of a stealth mission. We have to sneak like backwards through the Gillies in the Mist mission. Go reverse through the map. And this one is kind of tricky because there are other ghillie-suited snipers in the grass, and they're a real pain to deal with because one shot will nearly kill you from their snipers. So, if you get hit, you gotta drop back down behind cover, as I am doing now. And then you got to poke out and try to find them in the grass, but of course, you know, they're in a ghillie suit, so that's kind of difficult. Oh, I gotta fix my posture. Just realized I was sitting like a caveman. My middle back was getting all kinked up. So, this mission is all about just kind of going slow and steady, which is really the philosophy of veteran in Call of Duty in general. Just go slow and steady, because if you die, you're gonna lose, you know, who knows how much progress. Oh my god. It's just making me remember how relieving it was every time in a Call of Duty game you saw the text pop up, checkpoint reached, when you're doing, you know, a veteran playthrough. Just every time that you can, like, lock in your progress, and, cause you're dying a lot, you're getting sent back a lot. So to be able to lock in a few kills or whatever, it feels very, very good. It suddenly popped into my head how powerful of a positive emotion it was to see checkpoint reached. either washer is just doing the spin cycle. You've got that kind of oscillating, whirring thing going on up there. This is a great campaign mission. When you play through Captain Price's backstory, or you play through a flashback where he encounters Imran Zakayev for the first time, and actually shoots his arm off, which is pretty nasty. Taking a bullet that just blows your arm off. No thank you. But yeah, it's like a 2-mission sequence where you're wandering through. Where is it? Chernobyl? It must be, right? I don't think it's. Is it actually Chernobyl, or is it like a nearby city or something that just was evacuated for radiation? I can't. Maybe it's Chernobyl itself. I can't remember. I mean, of course, I remember the 50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town. Now it's a ghost town. Then you go to the Ferris wheel and hold off the enemies. It's actually it's a dope 2-mission sequence because it's so, it's so stealth-based in the beginning. And I'm not gonna pretend that the stealth in Call of Duty is some great example of how to do stealth. You basically just have to follow your partner. But what I will say is, first off, you can kind of go your own way. You just might get unlucky and a patrol will walk right onto you. But the other thing that's cool about it is that you don't fail just from breaking stealth. If you go loud, if you're noticed, the enemies will start shooting at you and you can just fight back. And if you're able to kill all the enemies, then that's that. And I do really appreciate that freedom. To say, hey, you're not gonna lose just because you're caught. It'll be hard to survive the ensuing firefight. But if you can do it, that's fine. Makes no difference to us, the developers. So I really respect that as a developer choice to not just say, oh yeah, it's an instant fail if you're detected. As is the case in, Assassin's Creed or whatever. Depending on the mission, anyways. And, so in the flashback mission, it's so stealthy for so long, and then you get into these little skirmishes, and there's things like, where you're gonna kill the dog or let the dog be, or yada yada. Sort of building up the tension of walking through this abandoned city, and then after the assassination, it just goes whole hog, like Blitz. You're running, and there's a helicopter crash, and there's, enemies are shooting at you everywhere. And it's very fast-paced, high action, exciting, and yeah, I just like the arc of that flashback sequence. It's a very nicely put together little storyline. It's got great, dynamic gameplay, like the type of gameplay that you're engaging in changes in a very satisfying way. And then the mission after that is cool because you respawn, or like it's in the same area as the previous mission before the flashback, the same map. But instead of like breaching and clearing your way through it by night, you have now set up a ton of defenses in the day, and you have to fend off tons of enemies. That's what Call of Duty is good at, just the set pieces. And there's certain games, like, you're just on the ride, it's like a ride at Disney World or something. You're just supposed to sit on the track and go along and enjoy yourself, and for what it is, I think Call of Duty, the campaigns that I liked when I was younger anyways, they were fun for what they were. They're not about high mechanical or player expression or anything. You're just supposed to sit your ass down in the roller coaster chair and let it rip. I think we're almost done with this mission. I'm being very, very cautious because this was like, I don't know how long I've been playing this mission, 9 minutes or 10 minutes, something like that. So I really don't want to lose that progress and have to redo the sequence. So, this is the last ghillie suit. Yeah. I just keep getting shot by this guy. And then I go prone and I hide and I wait for my health to come back, and like maybe I'll just get lucky with a grenade. But no such luck. Come on, we got him this time. Where is he? There he is, there he is. Nice. Alright. I think that's everybody. I think we're in the clear. I think we're home free. Alright. It's interesting that you have a bunch of claymores and C4 for this mission, which is very stealth-based. But, again, it's kind of cool. They just give you the tools to play it differently if you want. You can be using lots of explosives and be loud. And I'm not saying that this game is like an immersive sim, Dishonored or Thief or something, but it kind of scratches that same itch in a sense, where being put in a situation and then saying like, you can either do this quiet or you can do this loud. It's a very satisfying thing in a game, and I think it's because I think it just scratches that itch of feeling like you are making decisions and your decisions are respected by the game, that you can influence the game world, that the things that you choose to do matter in the game world. The game respects your decisions, alright? I think it's the same reason that, I don't know, like, anytime that you come up with a clever strategy, oh, what if I drive the car into the door where the enemy spawns, so then they're all stuck behind the car and I can blow them all up with one grenade, right? Something like that, where you feel that the game world responds to your decision, that you are having individual expression in the game world. I think that's one of the most satisfying things in games. Not every game needs it, so it sort of depends on the format. Much more structured games, you won't have that to the same degree, but yeah, I do think it's one of those magic ingredients for a good game, is letting the player feel like their choices matter, their gameplay choices matter, right? Not just narrative. That is, important, I guess, in its own way, but really just from a gameplay perspective. Letting the player feel like the virtual world that they are inhabiting in the video game is real and responds to their choices. And if you lose that sense, if the player starts to feel like, oh, it doesn't matter what I do, it's all just going to play out the way that the developers intended, I think you've lost a real dynamism and a real point of engagement for the game. Right, this would be something like, say we take the car example, okay, so there's a fuel truck that's like, or there's like a troop transport coming down a bridge, right? And you know it's coming, and so you think, oh, I'm gonna go like park a fuel truck next to it and then, blow up the fuel truck right as the convoy passes and, blow it up. Get a big trap, right? So in scenario A, you do that and it goes off great. You blow up 3 of the vehicles, the troop transport, and all of the people, is instantly destroyed, and you just have to mop up a few stragglers. That's a lot of fun. But now imagine that the developers were like, so we designed a whole arena sequence on the bridge where the troop transport arrives and all the soldiers get out and they all take up their positions in a semicircle on the bridge, and then they start attacking you and you have to fight your way through them. And so you set up your fuel truck trap. They drive by, you blow it up, and boom, you realize that the enemies are all invulnerable until they technically enter the battlefield. They haven't reached the flag yet where they become interactable or killable. And so your trap meant nothing. Your plan meant nothing. It was always going to be that you did the fight the way exactly that the developers wanted. And that sucks. That is a really lame thing to happen in a game. And this happens in a million feel like the game world is no longer respecting your creativity, just, your humanity, right? Your decision making. I think you lose a lot of interest there. So this is the snowmobile map again, but this time you have to hit these flags, hit these checkpoints, and each checkpoint gives you a few more seconds, and if the timer runs down to 0, you lose. So I'm kind of surviving on a knife's edge here. Oh yep, I'm totally botching hitting all of the flags, so mission failed. We'll get him next time. Let's try this one more time. Now that I know the placement of the flags a bit better, we're not gonna have a problem. Unless I hit that rock. I think we're still fine though. Yeah. The Spec Ops missions, I really enjoy them. Maybe I will return to do the rest of these Spec Ops missions in a future video, so let me know if you would like that. I always ask like opinion questions at the end of my videos. I'm like, hey, by the way, do you guys want to see this or that, yada yada. And it's like 80% of people are probably asleep by now. Well, I don't know how many people use these videos to sleep versus focus or whatever. I have a skewed perspective because I use ASMR videos always to sleep. Like 1 in every 50 times, if not less, will I use an ASMR video to focus. Well, that's not quite true. Sometimes that was true more so before I started making videos. Now that I make videos, there's like a few other channels that I've, chatted with a little bit and, become friends with, I think, in the sense of, where we're just two ASMR channels that like leave comments on each other's videos. So obviously we've never like spoken or whatever, but friendly in that sense, and I'm invested in their success now. I'm kind of, I want to watch their videos, just to see what they're up to, what they're doing. But anyway, the footage has run out, so I will stop rambling. All that was is to say is that now, if there's these channels that I'm kind of invested in that I like, I'll usually watch their videos while I'm doing something, have it on so I can actually see what kind of videos they're making these days. But anyways, I wish you all well. Please take care of yourselves, and I will do the same. Goodbye. 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 And I will send you off with some beard scratching as I fade out the sound.